Alright, what is up, guys? Action Fear Addict 112 here, and welcome to another Asylum Sitdown. I actually haven't done a sit down on this channel in quite some time. Soon I plan on doing one. I'll probably do one around my birthday, because there's a few things that I may pick up that I want to kind of sit down and talk about, because I don't think a lot of the things that I picked up recently I'm going to be doing a review on. There's a couple that I'll definitely be doing some reviews on, but I don't know if I'll be able to get to a lot of that stuff. But anyway, I wanted to sit down and do a Skull Asylum sit down because DC Fandom was last weekend, I think, or it was this weekend I just passed, and yeah, it was this weekend. So a lot of stuff dropped. We got to see a little bit more from Gotham Knights, which I'm looking forward to that game. I was a huge fan of the Arkham series. Arkham City was my favorite out of the 4 games that came out. And I wasn't really satisfied with Arkham Knight. I never actually finished the game. I played a little bit of it and I was like, yeah, this is not it for me. So they showed that. That looks really fun. They showed another kind of snippet from the Kill the Justice League game, the Suicide Squad game, which that looks awesome. I'm still a little pissed that it's for PS5 and these newer gen consoles, because you can barely fucking find the new consoles in the store, and it's not like there's a huge difference between the PS5 and the PS4. I think it's just updated graphics, and it's still got 500 gigabytes on as storage, which is like, why the fuck am I going to spend $600 on a console that plays slightly better graphics when the console that I have, the 4, had a terabyte of storage, and because I have a lot of games that I like to play on my free time, I could just go out and get a freaking storage brick, which is what I did, and get one that has a couple terabytes on it, plug it into my PS4, and I'm good. I'm good for quite some time. So yeah, that's just fucking stupid, and that sucks that won't be able to play that. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about. And then of course we saw the trailer for Black Adam. We saw a little trailer for what else did they show? The Flash. We got to see that, which is really cool, because it's definitely confirmed that Keaton's in the movie, because he finds the 89 Batmobile and he's like, holy shit, and I was like, oh, this is fucking dope. Even though I didn't grow up on the Keaton era of Batman till a little bit later in my childhood, I wasn't around at the time the movie originally came out, so I didn't get to really experience it like a lot of people like Stryden and Agent O and stuff like that were able to. And then we got the second trailer for the upcoming Batman movie with our glittery friend, as I call him, Robert Pattinson. And I was gonna wait to talk DC Fandom with Allende, but I've really been wanting to get my thoughts out on this trailer, because I have some concerns still. I still have concerns with the movie. And that's what I mainly wanted to talk about here. So my first issue I still have with this movie is I don't like the music. And I'm a big Nirvana fan. I like the grunge era of rock. You know what I mean? I like my bands like Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots and Nirvana, bands like that in my music genre that I like to listen to, or one of my many music genres I like to listen to. And I don't like that they used Something in the Way for the trailer. They did this twice. And I think the first time they showed the trailer was at DC Fandom last year. And I actually got to sit down with Stryden, Zorpox, and myself. And we talked about DC Fandom. And one of the things that Stryden brought up was the music. And he was absolutely right. And I definitely agree with him on this part. The music just doesn't fit. And it sucks because the song is a really good song. And it sucks that they're going to overplay the fuck out of this song. And it's going to come to the point where I'm going to be like, yeah, I don't like this song anymore because it's attached to this fucking movie and people are just going to overplay the shit out of it. And I'm just going to be like, no, I'm not feeling this movie. Or I'm not feeling this song anymore because of this movie. So I kind of wish that they had done what they just did for the second half of the movie, which is weird because, you know what I mean? They did Something in the Way for the first half of the movie, and then they actually do an orchestral, dramatic score for the second half, which I was like, why didn't you just do, the orchestral dramatic score for the whole fucking movie instead of, trying to do this whole edgelord shit with the Nirvana stuff. So I'm not feeling the music. I'm still not feeling it. I wish they would change it up. And I hope that that's not something that carries on into the movie. Because one of the things that I feel is important for a movie, especially when it comes to the trailers and it builds up into the movie and then you go to see the movie, is the score. Because you could have great actors and you can have, a solid cast of characters and a solid cast of actors and a solid director and writers. But what helps the movie is the score, because the score helps build the environment in a movie, at least to me. And you know what I mean? One of my favorite movies, and a movie that I feel is very fucking underrated, is Sucker Punch. And you can go through that entire movie score, and it's just beautiful. There's a couple of different covers of some older songs like Chasing Rabbits, and then there's the awesome fucking cover of Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. And then, you have like a mix of different types of music throughout. And then you have the awesome I Want It All remix towards like the first half of the movie, kind of going to the second act of the movie, where they're about to go on the fucking mission to kill the baby dragon to get the crystals out of its neck. And that scene is just fucking awesome because they fly in on like a B-52 bomber and they're flying around this castle. They're dropping fucking propane bombs. and they're fighting like these ugly ass like troll monsters and shit, and it's just fucking awesome. And um the fighting in that movie is just something else, man. You can say Zack Snyder has made some not great movies. And I heard a lot of people say Sucker Punch sucked when it came out, and I was like, you guys can go fuck off because this movie's great. Zack can shoot really good movies. He's a really good director. It's just he needs someone by his side to tell him, like, yeah, this movie, this works for the movie and this doesn't, because BVS has shown that things worked and things definitely did not work for that movie. But anyway, that's a different discussion. We're trying to talk about Batman, and I'm going on different little rants. So yeah, basically, I'm not feeling that. I'm hoping that's not one of the tracks on the score, but I feel like it is, because why would they put it in the movie if it's not going to be? So yeah, I'm not feeling that. The cast they have for the movie looks good. I definitely dig Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. I feel like this is the first time they actually got it right with Catwoman, where she actually has the classic Selena Kyle look, where her hair is cut like real short. And she kind of has like the skin tone, because that was the thing with Catwoman, was because with her backstory, she was adopted, and she was an orphan, and she was adopted, and we never really knew, was she Hispanic, was she Asian, what nationality was she? And that's what I dug with the Mezco Catwoman, was they captured that really well with her unmasked head, because you can't really tell what kind of nationality she is. And that's kind of cool because it plays into the comics, because, like I just said, you don't really know. And so she kind of has that kind of glow to her, like Catwoman does in the comics. So I dig that. She's got the look. My issue is I'm not feeling this costume choice that they went for her. And yeah, I get this is year one Batman, but you know what I mean? And I was talking to one of my friends from high school about this, and he was saying that they never got Catwoman's costumes right for the movies. There was one time they actually got it right, and that was back when Batman Returns came out with Michelle Pfeiffer. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I hope so. If not, I'm sorry. But yeah, with her, they got it right, because you actually got to see her make the Catwoman costume, and you could tell that she's not she's not the best seamstress. So, you know what I mean? So you can tell, like, throughout the movie, the stitching is coming loose, it's getting all torn up and stuff, and then by the end of the movie, her costume's completely fucked, like, to the point where, skin is showing through in certain areas, and she's losing the little hooks for her cat claws, and her kind of her like cat mask that she has is all torn up and shit, to the point where, like, her hair is kind of sticking out of it. And yeah, you could tell it was a homemade costume, but you know what I mean? Here, I don't understand what they're going for, because it's not like Catwoman's costume's so fucking hard to do. I mean, we're talking about just a cat suit. We're talking the cat suit, and then you give her the little headgear, whether you want to make it out of fabric or you want to add a little bit of protection in there. But it needs to have the cat ears, and then you just give her the goggles, the Catwoman goggles, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's not very hard. And I don't understand why they make these things so hard. Because, it's like these characters have, some of these characters have such simplistic costumes that it's like you have to try to fuck it up. And I was telling my friend yesterday, I was like, with Catwoman, they've shown Catwoman. This is the third time Catwoman's popped up in a movie. They got it right the first time. They managed to kind of fuck it up the second time. Um, with Anne Hathaway in Dark Knight Rises, and then here they're fucking it up again because she kind of has the catsuit thing going on with the lower half, or from the neck down. That's fine, but then you know what I mean. You have the like ski mask, and I'm like, why does she have a fucking ski mask? Like, yeah, I guess she's a cat burglar, but like, is that where we're going with? Is just because she's a cat burglar, that's why she has a fucking ski mask? Like, no. And then McFarlane just did, they just showed figures for the movie, and I'm like, now that I'm seeing it in figure form, it looks even worse. So I'm not a fan of that shit. I don't like that. I feel like that's kind of a weak spot for me, especially me being a Catwoman fan, and me being a fan of the Gotham Sirens, which that being Poison Ivy, Catwoman, and Harley. It kind of fucks that up, especially if they want to do a Gotham Sirens movie at some point. Like, is she going to be just running around looking like that the whole time, or I don't know. But so yeah, there's that. That's one of my issues. Riddler looks okay, since they're going with the whole serial killer thing. I suppose he kind of has to have a costume to kind of fit that. So I'm okay with that, I guess. But yeah, Zoe Kravitz, just that was a good call for Zoe Kravitz. I think she's fine as hell. I'll give her that. She's fine as hell. And it just works for Catwoman, so I dig that. So yeah, Now my issue with this, the biggest issue that I have with this, is Batman's suit. And this is, I brought this shit up when I was talking to my friends yesterday, and mind you, I've been friends with these guys since high school, and all of us met because we're like the biggest fucking nerds ever. We're fans of anime, we read comics, we grew up watching the same cartoons. Like, when Cartoon Network was in its prime, that's when we were watching cartoons. So we all share the same love. We all share the same love for the things that we geek out on. And what I mean? This is awesome that I wasn't the only one that, like, out of the three of us that said, you know what, yeah, this is right. Okay, so if any of you have seen the trailer, you'll notice there's two particular scenes. There's a scene where Batman's fighting thugs in an alley, and he's kind of getting shot at, and I was like, okay, maybe the suit can take a couple of hits. And then there's this scene where he's walking through an alley, and there's two thugs, and they have submachine guns, and they are just firing at Batman, right? And he's just walking straight at them at a slow pace, and his suit is just soaking up these bullets like he's a bullet sponge. And I'm like, hang on. This is not, no. This is my issue. Okay, this is the main reason why I wanted to sit down and do this, the sit down. So this is supposed to be year one Batman. And why is his suit already to the point where he can take fucking gunfire like it's nothing? Like, Batman has never had that type of, technology at his disposal, at least, in the games he did in, you know what I mean? Um, it was to the point, and even in the Arkham games, you know what I mean? If you got hit a certain amount of times, your health would drop, and then, you kind of had to watch yourself because your health didn't reset, I think, until after you cleared the fight. So if you got hit that one more time, that was it, you're done, you had to restart. And, and it's weird because movies have done this, like previous movies have done this better, where they've gotten the suit right. It's like with Keaton in the 89 Batman, his suit wasn't bulletproof. So when Jack Nicholson shot him, he felt that like the bullet went through the suit. So why is it that, and then, you can bash Nolan all you want, but he got it right with Batman Begins, because when Bruce goes to see Lucius, and this is my biggest evidence point here, right? So when Bruce goes to see Lucius at Wayne Enterprises, and he goes into the R&D department, and Lucius is showing him all this shit, he pulls out the suit that they had designed for the military, for soldiers, and it was made of Kevlar, and it was like they'd never used it because it was like a $300,000 piece of technology, and the government didn't want to use it, didn't think a soldier's life was worth it. So Bruce asks him, is it, can it hold off gunfire? And Lucius is like, yeah, anything but a straight shot. So, you know what I mean? Like, because that's his first suit, he has to be careful with the way that he's fighting criminals, he's fighting the thugs and he's fighting the mob and shit like that, because, if he's moving around, and he's dodging bullets the best that he can, he doesn't have to worry about getting hit. But if he's, in the range of someone getting, if he's fighting someone and someone has a clear shot at him and they shoot him, that bullet's going to go right through the armor because it has a weakness. So, and this is where figures come into play here, okay? So I have 2/3 of the Mezco Batman figures, okay? I'm just missing the Supreme Knight, so I apologize. Not you. You don't have to apologize for anything. I apologize for not being able to show you the Supreme Knight because I don't have him yet. But the Ascending Knight has this suit, and the cape kind of plays with it too, where the Ascending Knight has this suit, right? And it looks like it's some type of Kevlar weaved into the suit. But his suit and his knee pads and his boots and his gloves and his wrist gauntlets and the belt, they all look like, and even the cape and the cowl, they all look like a Year One Batman thing. Like the Bat logo on there is like kind of the old school Batman logo, so you can tell that this is, rookie Batman, like this is Batman starting out. There's some kind of ribbing throughout the suit, or there's some textured lines stitched into the suit in certain areas. So you can tell that there's definitely something weaved into the suit. The knee pads are kind of built inside of the suit as opposed to being built outside the suit. And then his boots are like wrestling boots, is what Trident had mentioned in his review, that they were like wrestling boots, and I didn't notice that until now. I was like, yeah, these kind of look like something, you'd see like a WWE wrestler have these kind of boots. But he has the steel toe on the outside as opposed to the inside, so you can tell that these are kind of something that him and Alfred kind of threw together. And, he has the nylon gloves where they have the padding on the outside on the knuckles, but they're not as flashy as the Sovereign Knight or the Supreme Knight, where you can tell that the padding is a little bit more pronounced on there. And then the belt, he has the bigger, bulky belt because, again, this is him starting out. So he has a bunch of shit on the belt where he's trying to figure out, what works and what doesn't. Like, what do I need to keep on my belt and what do I need to get rid of? What works effectively whenever I go out to fight crime and what doesn't. And you'll notice that, and here's the Sovereign Knight one side by side with him. And you'll notice, okay, the belt's smaller, logo's different, suit looks like it's made of a different material. Boots are definitely different, has knee pads on the outside. So this is more of like your Arkham City type of Batman, or this is kind of Batman in his prime. You know what I mean? Where he's gotten used to it. He's taken some bumps along the way. He's probably had to have his ribs set a couple times. But you can tell, again, that there's differences between this one and this one, where, the technology, he's gotten a little bit more advanced with the technology. You know what I mean? Him and Alfred and Lucius have kind of figured out, what can we use that's going to be a little bit more effective. So, you know what I mean? And then, of course, the cape. The cape is like a pleather material on this Ascending Knight, where it's a little bit more thicker material, where it's fabric on the inside of the cape, but it's like a pleather material on the outside. So it flows a little bit different. And then you can tell that this one's different whenever you get it in hand, because they give you, and I plan on reviewing this figure, so don't worry, I plan on reviewing him, the Sovereign Knight, and the Supreme Knight. At least the Ascending Knight and the Sovereign Knight, hopefully by the end of the year I'll have a review up for both of them, because, again, I don't have the Supreme Knight yet. I'm still kind of looking around for that one. But, yeah, and you can tell there's a difference between the two, because with the Ascending Knight, they give you a Bruce Wayne head, and you can tell this is like young Bruce Wayne. Like, hair is all slicked back, it's all black, but he has like the scar under his lip, so you can tell someone socked the shit out of him, and like kind of busted his lip, and his lip is kind of left scarred. And then on the Sovereign Knight, his temples are kind of graying, so you can tell that he's been doing this for a long time, and the stress is kind of hitting him, and his hair's starting to gray. And then on the Supreme Knight, this is like old man Batman. This is like Batman at his best. He may be older, but he's a hell of a lot wiser than he was when he started doing this shit. And his technology is like way the fuck more advanced. Like he's out here carrying a fucking like Sonic kind of boomstick looking gun, where it's like a psionic gun, or I can't remember what they called it, but it's a big freaking chunky ass gun that whatever it's meant for, it looks like it would absolutely knock you on your ass if you got hit with it. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, and then the batterings are different too. But anyway, my point is that how is it that a company like Mezco can get it right, and you have movies like 89 Batman that can get it right, and Batman Begins that can get it right, where the suit has the suit can work for what it is, but the suit also has weaknesses at the same time. You know what I mean? It's not the best suit because it's his first suit. This is supposed to be Batman Year One. This is him starting out. So why is it that his suit is like OP as fuck right now, where he can just walk through, and take fucking gunfire from machine guns like it's nothing. And it's not like, he's dodging them, you know what I mean? Like he's jumping around, he's got his gauntlets up and he's dodging the shots as he's, moving forward to, pummel the fuck out of these criminals. It's like he's literally just walking through this alleyway like he's the goddamn Terminator or something, and he's just taking bullets. And I'm like, this is like, what is this shit? Like, no, this is not it. And the suit, I have no issues with the way the suit looks. The suit looks fine. Is it my favorite Batman suit? Not really, but it's not horrible. It's just, I don't like that the form does not follow the function. So that's my biggest issue with what I'm seeing for this movie. Will I still see it? Yeah, I'll see it. I'm sure it'll hit HBO Max. Because I don't like going to the theaters just yet. You know what I mean? We are still in a fucking pandemic, so I'm not gonna risk it for. I'm not gonna risk it for the biscuit when it comes to this movie. And I'm just not feeling what's going on with this movie right now. But I will say the Penguin looks really good. The Penguin looks good. The fight choreography looks good. You could tell the Batman's kind of a brawler right now. But I just don't like that suit. But I do really like the way that Zoe Kravitz looks. Like, I like the way that she looks. She looks like Selena Kyle. And that's awesome. Like Selena Kyle from the comics. And, I've heard a lot of people complain about the fucking Batmobile being a Charger, being a muscle car. And I've heard a couple of Fast and the Furious jokes with the fucking car where, Batman's like family as he's driving through Gotham in this trailer. So I've heard the jokes already. It works for it being his first. It works for being his first. The first Batmobile. It works. Robert Pattinson. He's got the build. You know what I mean. He was banging and clanging in the gym, getting fit to be Batman, so I'll give him props. He's got the build for Batman, and he looks like Bruce Wayne, so he's got the Bruce Wayne build, so there's that. What the Batmobile's functions are in terms of, like, does it have some type of like missiles or something, I have no idea, or if he's just literally just throwing caution into the wind and just slamming the shit out of cars and hoping that they flip over type of thing. I have no idea. But I feel like I've gotten my point across here. I do want to dive a little bit deeper with A&A on Sunday with DC Fandom. So if you're a fan of the podcast, look forward to that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. Real quick though, before I end this, look forward to a couple of reviews coming up. I was gonna wait to do a review on the Mafex Gwen because I had a QC issue with Mafex where they sent me the wrong fucking masthead. They sent me two of the same masthead instead of one that was completely different. So I'm waiting to hear back from someone, or not waiting to hear back from someone, I'm waiting to hear back from my my Fig guy that I get my shit from. I'm waiting to hear back from him, so I can figure out whether I need to actually contact Medicom and talk to them about this or what. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and show this and talk about it because I am really fucking impressed with the way this Gwen came out. And I actually got a new figure fix neck peg in because the two that I have, they broke. So figure fix was kind enough to send me 3 new neck pegs, no charge. So that's how it's done business wise. That's how it should be done. So thank you, figure fix, for that. And look forward to Lynx. I'm going to be doing a review on her because that is going to be my base for my Catwoman, because I am not a fan of what Mezco did, and you'll hopefully see what I'm talking about with that. And then I'm almost done with this model kit that I'm working on. I like to do the model kits that are like the import quality figures, but in model kit form. So look forward to that. I'm almost done. I'm hopefully should have her done today because I have the day off. So I'm gonna sit here and try to put together the last final parts and get that done, so we can sit down and talk about her. And then one more thing. I did get to sit down with Landon from Invincible Toys. I invited him to come on. He was kind enough to come on. He's been a busy guy as of recently, with the Kickstarter being funded. Again, congratulations to the team at Invincible Toys, Landon, Strident, congratulations on that stuff. I know you guys have been busting your asses to get that funded, so I appreciate that. I'm glad I was able to, put a little bit there to help push that. Can't wait to get the figures in November of next year. And get these guys in hand, because I know they're doing some great stuff. I got to sit down with him, talk a little bit of Invincible Toys. Got to talk to him about some of the things that he collects, what he was collecting when he was a kid, stuff like that. So if you're interested, to learn about Invincible Toys and to hear, Landon's story of, how he started collecting and, what he's collecting now, go ahead and check it out. I've been putting the podcast up on SoundCloud just because they're a little bit more lenient. And I don't have to stretch out a fucking background for 2 hours. I can literally just throw it up as audio, throw a picture on there, and that's pretty much that. So anyway, that's pretty much going to do it for me. Stay patient. Reviews will be coming. Just give me some time. And that's going to do it for me. So thank you very much for listening. And Action Fear Addict 112 out.